Football is a crazy sport. It combines a series of elements that make it almost impossible to perform without some of the craziest things happening. The ball isn't round, although some of the players are. Football can sometimes get downright goofy. Let's take a look at some of football's most spectacular bloopers. Let's start with that silly-looking football. It just seems to have a mind of its own. No matter how hard a guy tries to hold on to the ball, sometimes it just doesn't seem to work out. In fact, I'm sure that a lot of players are convinced that the ball has been greased down before the game. How else can you explain this? Rolling out sometimes helps the quarterback to gain precious moments. On the other hand, sometimes it doesn't. Scrambling sometimes leaves your brains like scrambled eggs. Quarterbacks never try to look silly. It hurts their image, and they won't get the shaving cream commercial. However, sometimes they just can't help it. Now, someone should have told this guy that this was a pretty bad idea. They may make the big bucks, but the quarterback really does earn them after going through things like this. Hey, man, get out of my way! The journey to the end zone is always uncertain, but this is just plain ridiculous. Boy, that rascal can be elusive. They run, they jump, they screw up. Now that's using your head, and that's using your face. If this isn't a coach's nightmare, I don't know what it is. You know you're really having a bad day when you run into things like this. Even for a blooper, this is ridiculous. Now try to imagine drawing up these plays on a chalkboard. Here's a move you usually only see in the ballet. And here's a move that you only see at an armed robbery. Running backs with butterfingers always make coaches furious, but they make sports blooper fans very happy. This is the bomb play. This is getting bombed. Wide receivers must possess quick feet, good hands, and blazing speed. 2 out of 3 doesn't always make it. Now just follow the bouncing ball. Officials sometimes become more a part of the game than they bargained for. Boy, talk about having a bad day. And this guy actually thought it would be safer to be a wide receiver. Lugging the leather can be one of the glamour jobs in football, but just try to tell these guys of that fact. Defense, defense, defense. Watch out for defense, you idiot. Catching the pass is one thing. Running with it is quite another. Now, you will find living proof that athletes can act just as foolish as your boss does at the Christmas party. Now, the kicking game can sometimes backfire into a real mess for some kickers. Here's what can happen on a day when the kicker should have stayed in bed. Here's a new way to get out of this predicament. Now here's a group of guys who should have just stayed in bed. Cheerleaders and mascots are part of the sports scene. Sometimes they add fun to the events. Sometimes they make fun of the events. And sometimes they are the fun at the events. Some people can be foolish, while others are downright fools. You be the judge of which is which. Fans and cheerleaders and mascots make the game fun, as these goofy scenes will attest. Now this is what I call a sport for animals. These award-winning bloopers were selected by 7 housebound football experts with black and white TVs, who were the finalists in the Joe Q. Herrick Look-alike contest. Their selections were audited by the flag football team from Manny's Bar and Grill in the Bronx, in order to make sure that home viewers would get plays even more ridiculous than those performed by their team. Getting sacked is part of the profession, but this is ridiculous. You'd think that a little ball would be easier to control than that. Now this is what you call getting a feel for the game. Well, you've seen it all now, and it certainly wasn't pretty. But it was pretty funny, at least for us, if not for the players involved in these incidents. When you're having a bad day at work, just remember these guys, and things won't seem so bad. I'm sure that none of these moves will make it to a highlight film.